Thank you for clicking, and welcome to my social pathology video, by which you understand underlying mechanics of all kinds of social problems, and also by which you can reconfirm your life direction to attain true happiness on this planet Earth. This time, I would like to discuss 1983 movie classic Scarface, starring Al Pacino. My name is Dr. Samurai, a professor specialized in international social pathology and an active prison counselor of 20 years experience. As usual, I'd like to provide you some general information first, and then like to move on to our main discussions. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. Scarface by Al Pacino. As you all know, he was one of the Cuban refugees, criminals, most of them, came to Florida, killed La Venga to get out of the concentration camp, washing dishes, get access to drug dealers, jumped on a big buck drug business. Although his brother was killed by chainsaw, after all that, he followed his enemy to the street and shot the guy to kill, although the police cars were coming so close. This concentrates everything of Antonio Montana's character. Complete everything once he is decided. Then he belonged to this Lopez Motors, and the drug importers behind the back. He is loyal, never said anything behind his boss's back, but Lopez suspected him, having talked about something that he did not know with Sosa, the drug kingpin in South America. The Lopez tried to kill Antonio Montana, who became too difficult to control. But having been brought up on the street, he is too sharp to be killed by that soft Mr. Lopez. And he killed Lopez as revenge and became the boss of the organization. Business goes very successful with Sosa, became very rich, and things started to crumble down. One is that those aides, especially Manny, his right-hand man, and his wife Elvira, he is too focused on his business and his security. All the rest of the people just followed him, and clearly they could not have made it that big as Tony did. So he is right when he said, "Who made this? It's me." And he's all right. But the heart of those people surrounding him started to stay away. And he did not follow Sosa's order to kill this TV figure, who was planning to disclose all those drug business, including the name and the face of Sosa. He could not kill that figure because his wife and kids were in the same car. That was against his policy. He missed the chance. Sosa sent his army or militia. Although he fought back by himself using a huge gun. But in the end, he was shot from the behind by a professional assassin. The story was like that. What can we get from this movie classic? I know this is the movie. Most of the guys who enter the world of violence, and also those gangster rappers, and all those guys are into as their Bible, although it was made 40 years ago. What attracts so many people even today to this movie classic? One thing I can tell is he never changed a bit all through his life in the movie. He had a bad father who is as good as dead. So it was like him and his mother and his younger sister. But he went out. He left the family when young and didn't even contact for 5 years or so. And he came to the United States as part of crime refugees on the boat. He carries this anger and mind of vengeance all the time. Small-time success didn't mean anything. Manny, his right-hand guy, was satisfied when he could make a so-so amount of money as a middle figure in a Lopez company. But that level of success didn't mean a thing to his anger of vengeance. So like I said, the guy who killed Levenga in the camp was Tony. And the guy who killed the main guy in the drug business who betrayed him and killed his brother was Tony. No matter what the situation is, he completes his mission. He wanted the wall. Everything was in it. He became boss, but he never forgot where he came from. He is protective to his little sister because family was the only thing pure to him, as Manny said. So he couldn't stand Manny, who did the same kind of dirty business, touches his little sister. He never changed even after he got to success. He maintained the same level of focus as he had on his way up, which all the rest, satisfied with they have, starting to forget and starting to put the distance with the Tony psychologically. But the Manny got married with the Gina, Tony's little sister, against what the Tony said to him. So he was killed. But it was in the line with what he has been telling him. And Elvie complains that Tony is always talking about money, 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 money. But yes, he was dirt poor. Material neglect makes the person obsessive with money, and that obsession made him up to the level. He never changed a bit. And she laughed, and I think you all remember the scene that Tony and LV and Manny all having the dinner at this high-end restaurant, and everybody's looking at, and he goes like, you don't have a guts to be what you want to be. You know how to hide, but I do not have that problem because I say truth even when I lie. So say goodnight to a bad guy. You're not gonna get this bad guy again. That's his identity all the way through. And killing kids and mother, he can never do, because that is the thing he has been living for. Family. Outside world are filled with the evils. And his justice is protect his family against those evil. So, although it was his target's family, he couldn't take it out of his character. And when Sosa called him and complained about how come he didn't kill, and he said that, and Sosa called him monkey, and that completely splits him and Sosa. He fought like a soldier, using a big gun that blew up the whole door and whole statue against all those small machine guns all the militia members are using. The say hello to my little friend. That shows a big class difference between just a soldier and Antonio Montana. They are the totally different level. We could see that difference by seeing that size of the explosion their gun can bring about. But finally, he was assassinated right in the back, execution style. And in the end, he floated on that water fountain inside his house. Having so many prison friends who did that in a real life. Some, to be exact, international president of Outlawed Motorcycle, Mr. Taco Bowman, former Lucchese family, Godfather Vica Musso, Bonanno, former Bonanno boss, Vincent Bastiano, Mr. Zambrano, Almighty Latin King. He was former coroner of 10,000 Soldiers, the founder of Deadman Incorporated, Mr. Perry Roque, Aryan Brotherhood of Texas General, Mr. William Maynard, and also Kempin, Mr. James Byrd, and ex-Nuestra Familia Captain Fidel de la Riva, and also another Capone of Nuestra Familia, Mr. Zaragoza Sanchez, and Crips, Monster Cody, and Colton Simpson, who wrote Inside the Crips, and on and on. They all made it in the underground world to the level that books are written and movies are made and in control of so many soldiers and leader of shot callers in real life. When I learned from them, because communicating with them, I can learn some hint of how to make this society truly peaceful. Although they are notorious, they are not that bad person all the way. You do not probably know without actually communicating with them. They never betray. And having learned all that, there's one thing that clicked in me about who made it up to the top and who stay on as soldiers. That is, when situation comes that could jeopardize their life, both physically and in terms of the prison sentences, and even when they face real danger against so many other physically bigger enemies, and when they are walking along in the yard in a new facility, new prison, and after they are given a life sentence and they are tortured by police and correctional officers in an unimaginable manner, which most of the ordinary people would cry and definitely get the PTSD. They never back down, like Tony in Pacino. In that sense, that movie is real. All those who made it up there put their creed before everything. Everything means their own life. They could take being killed, or they could take being sentenced to a capital punishment. But they rather choose their creed because most of them are like Tony. They really had to live on their own, even at the age 12. They are on their own. They have to protect themselves by themselves. They have to make a living by themselves. So that emotional and physical neglect started out that early years, made their creed like a Teflon. Their creed is everything. They had nothing. All they had was their creed established inside themselves. They don't know how to live by not following them, because that's all they had. No parents, nobody, only them and creed. Although I do not have actual, direct communications, Mr. Raul Leon, the head of Mexican mafia, allegedly said about those defected his organization that how can they live looking at their face in the mirror, knowing that they betrayed. You see what I'm saying? He cannot think of any way to live not following his own creed. Mr. William Maynard of Aryan Brotherhood, Texas, he went against several of enemy black prison gangs who were raping white members. All the other white members couldn't do anything, scaring of what they want to do. But he didn't care. He goes into the middle of what is happening totally by himself and jumped on the main guy's face, and his skull came out because facial skin tore it off of the skull. After that, all the rest backed off. He didn't care. Mr. Perry Rourke, he just couldn't stand seeing this old evil prisoner trying to take advantage of a youngster who came into the prison for the first time, and the guy was going to molest him. That kind of thing clicks, snaps him. He forgot himself, beat him up so badly and threw them off the rail of the higher stories down to the floor. It's like they have a certain creed of their own, and that is everything. Only those who stick with their creed all the way become the head of all the other murderers. Although I do not have direct exchange with Mr. Giangotti, I hear even when he was attacked by black young prison gang because he stopped paying his tax to Aryan Brotherhood, and he was beaten and got a scar on his forehead. He just said to COs he fell down in the stairs. And even after he lost his lower jaw because of the cancer he had by operation, he was still playful with the nurse and tried to touch her ass. And I hear Mr. Gotti's daughter told Dad, I wouldn't do things like you did at the expense of my family. stuff like that. But because literally the all the way person, unshakable, Teflon Don, he made a front cover of the Time magazine and so on. I am not saying that is the right thing to do. They always put their creed before their own security or their own happiness. That I can tell you. So based upon that, the Antonio Montana that the Scarface depicts is very real in terms of sticking to his creed no matter what. And I think that is the reason why this classic movie made 40 years ago is still attracting so many people, including the youngsters. They were attracted to this unshakable spirit that Mr. Antonio Montana showed in the movie, and admire that purity, I think. But you must know, though, life is only once, and that will put you in a life which is far away from your happiness. That you should know. Smile and cry later. Cry is for the rest of your long years. You must know. The reason I wanted to introduce this was this. After all that I said, if that creed was for some right cause, truly positive cause, they might be a very good role model. And that's what I am following now. This is it. Thank you very much for listening to the end. And if you like this kind of discussions, please click that red Dr. Sumer logos. And also check out my best playlist of videos. Up until next time, I hope you will think about how you are going to live the rest of your life, because life is only once on this milk run. Wherever you are on this planet Earth. Thank you very much, and bye-bye now.